And we're back here at the Philip Marcella grounds in Vieux-Fort, St. Lucia for the football element of the 2018 Inter-School Windward Islands Games. And the score at halftime, 1-0. St. Vincent 1, St. Lucia 0. And this is a crucial second half. St. Lucia being 1 goal down, having none to show for the entire first half of this match. And there's the whistle. St. Vincent just rolling a bit there. And there's St. Lucia, Dijal hustling for that ball. And number 6, St. Vincent, not giving him the opportunity. Dijal is down. Definitely need to see St. Lucia starting to look alive. Players definitely seem more skillful than the Dominican team that they had previously faced in the last football match of the Windward Islands Inter-School Games, in which they sadly drew 0-0. And we would hate to see St. Lucia finishing off this match with no goals to show for the entire match. And there's St. Lucia totally wasting a very good opportunity. And St. Lucia. And there's the flag. Really thought it would have been a better choice to send that ball closer to the center instead of keeping it on that wing, in which the Vincentians are desperate to keep that ball out of that danger zone, which is the box. And if the St. Lucians have anything to learn from this night's match, is that you need to communicate with your team members, because that certainly seems to be one of the issues that the St. Lucians have, other than giving away a lot of the opportunities for St. Vincent to take advantage of. It's a lack of communication. Not saying that the Vincentians are communicating much better, but it's obvious that they're doing something right. And there's St. Vincent. And there's the flag. The ball's out. Already a frustrating few minutes in the second half of this match between St. Vincent and St. Lucia. St. Vincent being the luckier of the two teams, having scored an early goal in the first half. And coming into the second half, it's off the chest. And St. Vincent intercepted by St. Lucia, and we can see him crying out to the ref. And he's up. And there's the pass. It's free. And there's some hope for St. Lucia. And there's St. Vincent. St. Lucia. And St. Lucia definitely not in control of this game here tonight. Well, so far. Definitely not in control of this game tonight. And if St. Lucia could just get one goal in, it could definitely change the dynamic of this entire match here this evening at the Philip Masley grounds. And it's St. Vincent for the throw-in. And it's somewhat well received. St. Lucia have to work hard to prevent that ball from going into the red. And it's St. Vincent. And that was unfortunate. First attempt hit the crossbar. Second attempt to the back of the net. And St. Vincent are up by 2. as we can see from their celebration. And St. Lucia has a lot more work to do now that they are 2 down with nothing to show for the first and beginning of the second half. Definitely didn't see that coming after the ball being deflected off the crossbar. But St. Vincent didn't waste their chance. And St. Vincent trying to repeat. Not getting through with that one. And dangerous attempt at an interception. Could have sworn he spun there for a second. And he's down. And he seems to be getting back up. And it's a very frustrating beginning of the second half. And we're just waiting to see what the referee's decision actually is. And St. Lucia gets a free kick. And still don't understand where he hopes to go, facing in that direction. Oh, that was an okay attempt. He would have wished the ball would have sunk in instead of going over the net like that. And it's the keeper's turn. And St. Vincent. Very smooth, that pass. And St. Lucia. And the ref stops the play just when St. Lucia would have possibly gone towards the net. Questioning the tactics used by St. Lucia in this evening's match. And there's a Vincentian player. He's down. And the medic just assisting him there. And 2 goals from St. Vincent. Both seem to be from defensive mistakes. Just a little higher up on the pitch. Closer to the center of the pitch, there's another casualty. And he's up. And St. Lucia being given a little pep talk here. Hopefully that makes an impact. And if not, it's going to cost them. It's going to be very costly to them. And there's St. Vincent. And the Vincentian midfield, not the most creative midfield I've seen so far in this entire tournament, but creative enough to have 2 on St. Lucia this evening. And hopefully, by the end of this half, St. Lucia will have something to show for their 90 minutes. And there's the keeper. And everybody on St. Lucia seems to be playing at the same level. Can't vividly identify a workhorse on the pitch for St. Lucia. Seems everybody is giving the same amount of efforts. There's not one player I can definitely say who is working harder than the rest. And the flag's up. And there's the throw-in for St. Lucia. Will he make it count? It's just that lack of communication among the players that's causing the current state of affairs. And St. Lucia really needs to prevent these Vincentians from getting that ball close to the... And that could have been the detrimental header. And thank goodness for the referee. And his lack of accuracy. And there's St. Lucia. The smarter thing would be to... There we go. keeper with that goal kick. Very ill-composed St. Lucian side we're seeing. And St. Vincent. And we really hope to see a turnaround for the St. Lucian team here. And that was definitely him passing the ball without looking up, because he would have definitely seen that his teammate couldn't have possibly been in a position to receive that ball. He might have either held on to it for a little longer or given it a softer pass, or even pass it to somebody else who was in a better position. And the ball's given to him again. And there we go. And there are no ball hogs on the St. Lucian team. And St. Lucia needs to... I cannot believe this. We cannot believe this. And thankfully, that little delay by the goalkeeper prevented what would have been the third goal from this Vincentian team on this pitch tonight. And it's a corner kick. And let's see what the Vincentians are going to do with this corner. And the possibilities are endless. And he forfeits his corner to allow it to be given to his teammate, and that's dangerously close. And that was a commendable attempt by number 17 to keep the ball in play. It's the goalkeeper's turn to decide how this play is going to play out. And Dejal being an aerial threat here, being one of the taller players on this pitch. St. Vincent. Right into the hands, or I should say the legs, of St. Lucia. St. Vincent, St. Lucia. And let's see if St. Lucia can And like I said, it seems as if St. Lucia is hand delivering these opportunities to St. Vincent instead of keeping them for themselves. And there's St. Lucia with a free kick awarded to them. Just a little too low. And a counter attack from St. Vincent. And of course, being outpaced. And there's the flag. And you can definitely hear the crowd trying to cheer up, trying to motivate rather, these St. Lucian players as they defend their turf here at the Philip Marsteller grounds in St. Lucia in Viewford, which isn't too far from our neighboring St. Vincent. And we hope that that bit of motivation can really get these St. Lucian players to make a difference here in the second half of this St. Lucia St. Vincent game. And there's the keeper. There's the whistle. And you can see the referee checking his watch to see how much more of this torture St. Lucia has to endure. And the Vincentians jeering at the St. Lucians, trying to get their spirits down. But hopefully that has no impact. And these boys desperately need 2 goals to equalize. And they desperately need to defend to avoid a 3rd goal from touching the back of that net. There's the right back. And the ball's in the air. Try to get that ball down. It's at ground level. It's a bit of a challenge there from St. Lucia on St. Vincent. And St. Lucia with that opportunity to prevent these Vincentians from getting that 3rd goal. And St. Vincent making sure that St. Lucia doesn't score 1. And we have another casualty. Somebody's in pain. He's been down for more than about 20 seconds. And the Vincentian coach rushing onto the pitch to assist in whichever way he can. And in the meantime, St. Lucia should take this opportunity to visualize a first goal. See if they can execute on that visualization. St. Lucia is granted the chance to throw the ball in. And he makes not a very wise decision with that throw-in. And St. Vincent is trying to make sure that St. Lucia is put at a disadvantage. And St. Lucia ensuring that St. Vincent doesn't take advantage. And the ball's out. And there's a throw-in for St. Vincent. Definitely a wiser choice from the Vincentian. And there's Dejal trying to retain the ball. And he would have preferred to keep the ball between his legs than to give it away while he was down there. And the Vincentians getting it away from their home turf. I'm not too sure if St. Lucia can come back from this well, I shouldn't say this defeat because the final whistle hasn't been blown, but this defeating start to the second half. And by defeating, I mean definitely a set of events to give you that kind of fatalistic view on the game here tonight. I'm not sure if I were in the shoes of or in the boots of one of these St. Lucians, if I would have had the hope of coming back from 2 goals from this difficult to beat Vincentian team. I'm hoping they don't have that kind of defeatist mentality that I would have in their position. St. Vincent. And it would definitely be a heartbreaking end of events here this evening if St. Lucia cannot even get 1 or 2 goals in. Would hate to see them lose without 1 goal on the sheet. And there's St. Lucia playing it close to the line. And the flag's up. It's out. And there's the throw-in. And he's down. But the play must go on. And while he's over there trying to nurse whatever injury he's sustained, his teammates are trying to keep the Vincentians away from the box as much as possible. And it's a little more serious than I initially anticipated. And there goes the medic to help him. And we can see the referee showing a little sympathy for him. We can definitely see signs of frustration from the St. Lucian players, arms folded, hands on waists. We see someone pulling up his socks. He needs to communicate that to his teammates because everybody needs to pull up their socks here at this match between St. Lucia and St. Vincent. Because if they can't, St. Vincent is going back to their hotel room with a win to boast about this evening. And there's a header from St. Lucia away from the box. And St. Vincent trying to get the ball to go in the other direction. And you would think with fullback 4, St. Lucia would pose a greater defense against St. Vincent. And we can hear the fans shouting that St. Lucia is under pressure, which is rightfully so. And so much so that we can see one of the St. Lucians throwing down one of his teammates. Yes, in spur of the moment, you can't differentiate between yellow and blue. There goes the Jal. And the Vincentians are definitely looking like the better team. Not too sure if St. Lucia can turn this game around in these last few minutes of the second half. But we're definitely hoping so. There's the flag signaling the ball going past the line. And there's St. Lucia. There's a man on. Just can't beat him. At that point, should have tried to cross the ball. The other wing would have been the better option and probably the better chance of that ball hitting the back of that Vincentian net. St. Lucia looking pessimistic. There's the goalkeeper urging his teammates to charge. And there's St. Lucia. And he's down. There's the whistle. Not a bad choice. Didn't execute it as well as he thought he would. And there's St. Lucia. Let's see if he'll make. And he's intercepted. And St. Vincent using the momentum set by St. Lucia to their advantage. And you're definitely playing on the counter. As you can see. Definitely looks like St. Lucia is trying to balance between defending and attacking. But they have a lot more defending to do, especially considering that they're 2 down. They need, at this point, to put the majority of their energy into attacking to try to equalize and hopefully surpass this Vincentian team that is looking very dominant tonight on St. Lucia's own grounds. St. Lucia definitely needs to try to defend a bit harder to avoid a third goal from burying them this evening. And at the same time, they need to try to get that ball to hit the back of that Vincentian net 2 to 3 times. And they haven't been able to do that once. And straight at the keeper, who saw that coming. Didn't put much effort into saving it. And sad to say, it looks like St. Lucia will be sobbing on the bus this evening. And St. Lucia trying to power through, and he has his back towards the goal. And here's the chance. He just can't take advantage of it. And there's the flag. And I can see the Vincentian players really irking these St. Lucian players here this evening, because they're on them like white on rice. And there's the whistle to signal the end of the 90 minutes at the Philip Masler grounds. And it's unbelievable that St. Vincent defeated St. Lucia 2-0 here on their own soil. And the coach is definitely going to give them an airful on the bus ride back to their hotel. And it's definitely unfortunate to see this St. Lucia team coming from one disappointing 0-0 draw against Dominica, going into a 2-0 loss with St. Vincent. And it would have been almost the same fates as their Dominican counterparts if they could have gotten one goal in. And if St. Vincent could have scored one more. It's 2-0 here. St. Vincent, St. Lucia. Very sad end to 90 minutes in Vieux Fort.